What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Turn on the Faucet. And today I want to give my long-term vision for Drip Network and why I decided to invest. So if you don't know, a quick rundown on Drip Network is similar to a certificate of deposit where you're able to invest money that you cannot get back by taking it back out. The long-term viewpoint of the project is you receive 1% per day that you have the ability to compound to grow your pot to pull the 1% out later up to 365 days. You get 365% once you pull money out. But you can compound to grow the amount that you receive per day, right? So having that understanding of what it is, looking forward, you good, you get your money, you get your 365% on whatever you put in. If you choose to take it out from the beginning or if you compound, you get it later on, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to assume that some of you guys have a grasp of what Drip Network is. This is my long-term viewpoint on this. My long-term perspective is that there's a much larger play than what we're seeing on the table right now. To me, when I listen to Forex Shark, I've listened to a good bit of his AMAs. I got into Drip, I believe, last month. So I've been listening to a lot of his AMAs, and I understand his personality type and his ability to have a vision longer term than maybe he's able to, kind of let us in on because he's taking it step by step. But this is what I think. I think that what we're seeing right now is basically, like, I guess for us, it's a part of the learning curve on how to provide liquidity, invest. Basically, don't get me wrong, this is genius what he's doing. What he's doing is very genius. Giving us the opportunity basically to give our money to him for him to invest our money through what he calls rehypothecation, which I just found out what that was. But basically taking our money and allowing that to be borrowed in a safe way to give us a piece of the pie. Basically, usually we'll have to give our money to the bank, and the bank will do that and give us pennies. But he's giving us a lion's share of the money that's being borrowed on the back end in the animal farm. Now in Drip Network, most of the money comes from fees and this, that, and the third. But seeing that he's doing that, I think there's a larger play than yield farms and certificate deposit games, which is basically what we've seen so far. Even the partnerships, right? So he speaks on, past the animal farm, past Drip Network. He speaks on partnerships, right, with casinos, NFTs, this, and the third. I believe he may have mentioned the metaverse a little bit, but I don't know for sure about that one. But I know, he's spoken on casinos, and he's definitely spoken on NFTs, partnerships with NFTs. But to me, I feel like longer term, there's two things that I could see, right? So the first thing that I could see is I could see an exchange in a blockchain, right? Because that's kind of the path that generally you'll see developers go through. They start with a coin, and they'll come with some type of innovation and use and utility for the coin. And then the next thing they're, developing into the metaverse and exchange a blockchain, right? So I could see an exchange and a blockchain. He already has multiple coins, B-Reap, Drip, now Dogs and Pigs. He already has farms and pools. I mean, staking, like all of this stuff is an ecosystem that can develop into an exchange and a blockchain. So that would make a lot of sense to do, especially when you have this large amount of liquidity. You have rapid fan base, that will bring more people in. Will be able to bring more people in for something more traditional like an exchange and a blockchain. There's a lot of like confusion around the nature of Drip Network, and even the animal farm is kind of it's a game. It has like funny themes and stuff like that. So when people think about investing their money, some people, they're just not going to get it. They're not going to get when you tell them there's a dog and a pig token and this and that. It sounds cartoonish in a sense, like to people who have never invested in crypto. So to me, if you went down that road, I think if you're telling them that there's an exchange and a blockchain, which is kind of like, the bank and the network that sponsors all these banks, if you can explain it in a way like that, people would be more willing to invest. So I could see that later on down the road. Or the second thing that I could see, and this is the one that I feel like is more likely, but again, you know, it could be either or, it could be none. It could be none. Again, this is just my opinion that I'm stating. So when I'm saying this, I did not hear this from Forex Shark. I'm kind of giving you guys my mindset, looking forward. And for some people, they need to hear, talk like this, because to just say people don't get the long-term vision. For somebody like me, you have to tell me what that is, right? Like, to just tell me, like, okay, you're going to make 3% per day, 1% per day. That's great. But if there is no guarantee for me, if I have a smaller amount of money, that this is going to last 2 or 3 years, if I'm planning out for it to last that long, then it's going to be kind of difficult for me to just say, you know what, just put the money in and just go off of the hopes that this will last 2 years, 3 years, or whatever, right? So I'm just kind of putting you guys into my mind frame and what I'm investing based off of, the feeling of, right? So there's the sustainability of the project and the way it's built. Like, that gives me some comfort. But then my own thought process and due diligence and listening to AMAs and coming up with these theories, it helps me feel more comfortable, right? So you guys have to do your own research. You have to go listen to the AMAs. Don't just listen to me or anybody else. Do your research, because this is your hard-earned money that you're trying to flip and grow. Of course, to get out of your job, just like I'm trying to do, everyone wants to do, to get out of the rat race, to be able to go live our dreams, right? So do your research, use your brain, think. You could take this as entertainment, to learn how to think, to open your mind, but do not take this as financial advice. So the second thing that I could see when he talks about rehypothecation, right, which is taking your money and basically placing it somewhere else for that money to grow. So it's investing on your behalf, basically. That's the understanding that I have of it. I could see some type of basically service to loan out the money that we've provided, right? So all of us gave our money, money we knew we would not be able to get back for a return. But having that money parked, basically that money could be reinvested. That money could be loaned out, just like he's allowing PancakeSwap to use the liquidity that we provided in the animal farm. And I believe he said it's 40% that he's receiving. I'm not sure if that's yearly, monthly, or how that works out, but basically the money is growing in the background, and we don't have to do anything but stake our money. We get the returns that's divvied out to us, and he's doing the work in the background with the rehypothecation. So I can see some type of service where he finds different places to loan out the money, basically to get different APRs, different percentages, to grow the pool of the money that we have. So I could see that. That to me makes sense, because when he spoke on rehypothecation and he explained what it was, I said basically he's allowing us to be the bank. He's allowing us to be the people that have been ripping us off, giving us pennies on dollars that we've been parking there, which basically the only reason we park our money in the bank is for safety and growth. We haven't been getting a lot of growth, honestly, and some of these banks closed, so the money hasn't really been that safe in the banks as well. So for me, I could see a service to where he takes the money, loans it out, and we could get a percentage back. Now, it could be a combination of both, right? He could start an exchange and a blockchain later on and continue to loan the money out on a greater scale. It could be either or. Really, honestly, I want to hear what you guys think. What do you think about these two theories? What do you think about maybe a loan service later on, or an exchange in a blockchain for this ecosystem, including Drip Network and the animal farm? Comment down below. Make sure you like the video. I have my buddy link, because you need a buddy to join Drip Network if you're not in. I have my link below, and I'll be releasing more videos on Drip Network moving forward. This is Turn on the Faucet.